August 23, 1989, 2 million people link hands. From Tallinn to Vilnius, 600 kilometers of human chain. Cutting through 3 Soviet republics. They weren't just marching. They were confronting a lie their own government had repeated for 50 years. That a single piece of paper never existed. A paper that, in one room, one night, decided the fate of a nation before its people even woke up. That nation was Bessarabia. And the man who made sure that paper survived wasn't a general or a spy. He was a translator with a shovel. Collusion, buried on purpose, or history's paperwork, lost in the chaos of war. Let's dig it up. Moscow, August 23, 1939. 2 foreign ministers sign a peace treaty the world can see. Ribbentrop for Germany. Molotov for the Soviet Union. Non-aggression, they call it. Cameras flash, champagne pours. But underneath the treaty everyone reads, there's a second document. One nobody's allowed to read. In it, Hitler and Stalin don't just promise peace. They divide a continent. Finland to Moscow, Estonia and Latvia to Moscow. Eastern Poland, split down to rivers. For 20 years before that night, Bessarabia had belonged to Romania. Ever since it broke away from a crumbling Russian Empire. And then, Article 3. The Soviet side emphasizes the interest of the USSR in Bessarabia. 9 words, Hitler doesn't want the territory. He just needs Stalin's silence while he invades Poland. So he trades a nation he's never seen for one he's about to burn. For Stalin, this isn't a bargaining chip. It's unfinished business. By 1945, Germany is collapsing. And the order comes down from Berlin. Destroy every trace of the secret protocol. The German original is burned. The Soviet copy disappears into an archive stamped top secret. For a moment, it looks like the deal that erased Bessarabia has erased itself. But one copy survives. In 1943, Ribbentrop orders the Foreign Ministry's most sensitive files microfilmed, nearly 10,000 pages, including the secret protocol. The man responsible for guarding those reels is a translator named Karl von Loesch. In the final chaos of the war, his orders are simple: burn everything. Instead, he does something else. He seals the microfilm in a metal can and buries it in a steep ravine near a country house outside Marburg. His own insurance policy. In May 1945, with Germany defeated, von Loesch walks up to a British colonel named Robert Thompson. He doesn't surrender, he negotiates. On May 14th, Thompson, an American officer named Collins, and a captain named Fokker follow von Loesch to that ravine and dig up the can. Inside, the treaty everyone had seen, and the protocol no one was supposed to. By 1948, the US State Department publishes it all. The West knows the truth. But 6,000 kilometers east, in Moscow, the answer to any question about a secret protocol is the same. It doesn't exist, it never did. That denial will hold for 40 more years. While the paper stayed buried, the plan on it didn't wait. June 26, 1940. The Soviet Union hands Romania an ultimatum. 24 hours to hand over Bessarabia and northern Bukovina, or face invasion. You've seen how that ends. Soviet tanks cross the border. Within days, a border that had existed for over 20 years is gone. Along with the citizenship, property, and safety of everyone living on the wrong side of it, families wake up Romanian. They go to sleep Soviet. None of them ever saw Article 3. None of them voted on a single word of it. This is where the story connects to lists, to trains, to a chapter some of you already know. A private conversation between two dictators became the deportation lists, the closed borders, the decades of silence that follow. For millions of people who never touched a pen or signed a single page, the changes come fast. Romanian schools become Soviet schools. Overnight, the language on the blackboard changes. The Romanian leu disappears, the ruble takes its place. Private land, shops, even furniture factories, nationalized within months. Churches that had stood for centuries suddenly answer to the state, not to God. For some, resistance means whispered prayers behind closed doors. For others, it means one knock on the door at 2 a.m. and a train ticket no one asked for. This isn't abstract history, it's a story you'll still hear from grandmothers across Moldova today. And through it all, the document that started this, the one sign in that Moscow room, stays buried. Nobody outside a handful of Soviet officials even knows Article 3 exists. For 50 years, the Soviet Union calls the secret protocol Western propaganda. Then, August 23, 1989, the 50th anniversary of that signature in Moscow. 2 million people form the Baltic Way. The pressure doesn't stay symbolic for long. A special commission, led by Alexander Yakovlev, is ordered to examine the pact. On December 24, 1989, the Soviet Congress of People's Deputies does what Moscow swore it would never do. It admits the secret protocol existed, and declares it invalid from the moment it was signed. The evidence that forced that admission traces back to a can buried in a ravine, and a translator who gambled his own life on the idea that the truth was worth more buried than burned. Some still try to wave this away as coincidence or forgery. The captured German archive, the Soviet Union's own confession, they don't leave much room for doubt. That border, redrawn in secret in 1939, still exists today, as the line between Moldova and Ukraine. So, collusion or coincidence? History already answered. The paper that didn't exist outlived the empire that buried it.